Okay. Um, Hello, kindergartners. I have a lesson for you today where I'm going to get to show you some different videos. Hopefully it works. This is my first time sort of trying to show videos through Zoom and recording it. So I'm going to do my best. And our learning target today, we're continuing to learn about plants and what they need to survive. I know you've been at home growing your own plants. That's super exciting. So here's our learning target. I can make observations about what plants need to survive. So I drew a little plant. Maybe that's what your seedling looks like right now. Some eyes for making observations, water and sunlight, because you've been learning about how important those are for plants to survive. So we are going to get started. You already have learned a little bit about how humans impact the earth this year, and you've made observations about that. So some of what we're going to see today has to do with human impact on different plants, and also noticing what those plants need to survive. So we're going to get started. So let me see here. If I can share this screen. Share. Okay. So this is a 360 video. I'm gonna let the video do the talking. So I'll go ahead and press play and hopefully the audio works.
One of the things that's so interesting about the giant sequoia trees is how long they can live. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years. And although they are incredibly resilient, we've managed to change our climate so much, we just don't really know how they're going to deal with climate change.
And in order to understand how those changes are affecting these trees, we need to get up into their crowns, get samples, measure the conditions.
We'll pause for a minute to let that load. This is a 360 video, so I might toggle around a little bit and try and show you different things. So these are scientists who are studying how climate change, which some people argue can be human caused, will impact these trees. So looks like it's loading a little bit. I have it in the best resolution, so I think it takes a little more time. Let's see.
That they're experiencing so that we can get a better picture of how they're doing and how they might do in the future.
Being such large organisms may make them more vulnerable as the planet warms and as there's less water available. We've found on a typical summer day that these trees can use 2,000 to 3,000 liters of water in a single day. And that's an enormous amount of water, especially when you take into a context an entire forest of these trees.
As conditions continue to change, as temperatures continue to increase, and as snowpack continues to decline,
So something I'm noticing that these people are talking about is that these giant sequoia trees need cooler temperatures to survive and lots of water.
It just may get too hot and dry for them.
The rate that temperature is increasing on the planet is unlike anything that these trees have experienced in the past.
And as tough and resilient as these trees are, every organism has a limit and a threshold beyond which they can't survive. And if they're not able to continue to grow, then we're going to lose that irreplaceable forest that we love so much.
Okay. So that was the first video I wanted to show you. So we're gonna watch another video, and it might work a little bit better if I don't toggle around as much. So I'm gonna try and play that one right now. I thought this one was really cool because it's similar. They're climbing these really big trees, but just the perspective was really beautiful, I thought. So let's give it a go. See, share screen.
My name is Wendy Baxter, and I have probably one of the coolest jobs on the planet. I get to climb in and study giant sequoia trees.
My name is Anthony Ambrose, and I am a canopy biologist. I've loved trees and climbing trees my entire life. The first time I actually climbed a giant sequoia was just life.
There's one scientist. I don't know where the other one is. Might be in the tree.
Changing. There's no branches down low, and you're just climbing up this massive orange trunk.
Anthony is actually the person who taught me to climb. His enthusiasm and love for these trees is just contagious. The trees themselves are just enormous. I mean, it's almost hard to understand how big they are.
Let that load for a minute. One thing I'm noticing on this video is that the higher they get, the lighter it gets. So I'm wondering if part of the reason these trees grow so tall is they're trying to reach the light out of the canopy, and also because they get so much water, like we heard in the other video. Let's see. No, doesn't love.
It's really quite a long climb to get to the top. Sometimes it's hard to believe. It's like, what? I'm still going? Where is the top of this thing? Just seems like they're never ending.
You get into the branches and limbs, and you get to see how really big and gnarly and complex it is.
It almost feels like I'm in multiple trees because it has all of these trunks coming up, almost kind of like a hand. Look at that. It's gorgeous. As you reach the top of the tree, you break out into the light. It's just almost kind of like experiencing, a sunrise.
It is definitely a magical, mystical place. You also start really getting a sense of the scale and perspective that you can only get from being up in the crown of one of these massive trees. I am climbing on this living organism, something that is much bigger and older than I am, that I need to respect. They're just so big and you're so small.
Okay, so that was the other video I wanted to show you of climbing giants. And I kind of pointed out what I noticed about the sunshine that they got, and the scientists in this video pointed that out as well. So the last video I'm going to show you, and hopefully it loads a little bit better, is of Buck Island Reef, which is a protected area. And I'm just going to show you part of this video because the first part wasn't really about plants. But let me pull that up here, and I will share my screen with you. Okay. And hopefully it works.
Buck Island was one of the very first marine national monuments that was created by President Kennedy in 1961.
Okay, I might let that load for a little bit. I'm going to show you some plants and different living things that are on Buck Island, or the island of, or Buck Island National Monument. So on land, it says it's a subtropical dry forest. So that means it doesn't need as much rain, but it still needs some rain, and it's pretty sunny. So there's some different, that kind of looks like a type of cactus to me. So, and there's a tree. I don't know what kind of tree that is. Oh, it lists all these different things that are growing there. Wow. Okay. Oh, so it says it's a gumbo limbo tree and cactus. And this is recovering subtropical dry forest at Buck Island. And this is part of the coral reef there. So this is a picture of elkhorn coral. And yeah, so these were formed a really long time ago and were damaged by different things like overfishing from humans or different pollution from humans. And they only grow, it says, in this temperature range. So they need it to not be too hot or too cold. It needs to be between 70 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. It says they're vulnerable to pollution, sediment, overfishing, warming of the seas, and boat damage. So if a person's boat scrapes against it. Okay, let's see if this video loaded, and if it doesn't work, we'll just wrap it up.
From the air, you see that glowing, crystal clear water. Photographer is to,
let's see, maybe if I change the resolution a little bit, it will load faster.
tell a story.
Maybe not.
I want to use.
Okay. Okay, well, I think that's hard to watch a video when it's pausing that much, so I'm sorry. But what I want you to do today is I want you in your journals to draw a plant, maybe one you can see in your yard or outside, and the things around it that it needs to survive. Or if you don't want to draw one from your yard, you can draw one of the ones you observed in the videos today, maybe something from the coral reef, or maybe one of the giant sequoias, and the important things that it needs to survive. So just to bring it back to our learning target, I can make observations about plants. I can make observations about what plants need to survive. I hope you all have a great day. Let me end.